Good morning, and these are the breaking news for Monday morning. He did it. The President of the United States got those $1,400 third stimulus checks landing. They landed on Friday, more landed on Saturday, and more will land this Wednesday, April 7th. Of all the breaking details formulating just this morning, and they're happening around the clock. From Wall Street to Main Street, all these checks are landing, the $1,400 third stimulus checks. But what is Wall Street's reaction to the situation? The jobs report number on Friday was through the roof, so what is Wall Street doing this morning? Is it tanking or going through the sky? As the 10-year Treasury note remains under focus, and also securities and the tech sector. Are they trading up on the news or down? All the breaking details happening right now as Wall Street abreasts the issues of jobs. Meantime, what's going on with forced stimulus? Forced stimulus is heating up right away, and that forced stimulus package could be debuted with monthly stimulus checks. Monthly stimulus checks remains the focus across the board for 21 of 50 Democratic senators. They want it in there, and they're going to go to the mat to give those reoccurring stimulus checks. How much money could you get for them? I'll have all those details and more. Elsewhere, the president continues his push for forced stimulus. But will there be a modification, and what will be those modifications? A counteroffer is proposed. I'll detail that counteroffer as well. As we go into a new morning, there's a lot happening. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, everything is in place. Well, we're missing something. The darn bacon's still not here. But as long as we get to the finish line as a family, we can perhaps go without a little bit of bacon. I'm so excited for you as you join me as Mornings LA kicks up its feet, starting right now. Good morning. It's a big morning. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here. And $1,400 third stimulus checks are here as well, either in pending deposits or in the mail or with available funds to withdraw. Of all the details and more. And hello, good morning. Did you crush the weekend? Hope you had a beautiful and wonderful Easter weekend. And if that is not what you celebrated, then I hope you had just a relaxing Sunday weekend. And congratulations to the valiant effort made by the UCLA Bruins in the Final Four. It was a wonderful game, and if you missed it, it was truly valiant. Thank you for joining me on a big mornings of LALATE. There's a lot of breaking news, and I really appreciate you joining me. Minutes ago, the COVID team for the president had a press briefing. If there is another live one, I will cut into it. But let me give you the breaking news. This morning, $14 third stimulus checks are landing, and they started landing on Friday. More landed on Saturday, and the remainders will be landing on Wednesday. Meantime, it could be in your mail today. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, because boy, we are on fire. Last night's Evenings LA was the most watched 1 hour programming block ever in this History's channel. And this morning's Early Mornings LA, thank you for tuning in, for making it the most watched episode ever for this channel in nearly 3 months. Also, like this video. It really helps in the algorithm rankings. Let's try to do 3,000 likes. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member, because that forced stimulus package is about to hit. The link's at the top of the chat and also in the pinned comment. $1,400 third stimulus checks went out on Friday. They went out from Treasury in the latest wave. It went out for everyone. That's the really great news you're only hearing for this channel. It went out for everyone, including veterans. You're not going to have to wait to mid-April. SSI, SSDI, Social Security and Railroad Benefits, Direct Express, big banks like Bank America, PNC, everything from Chase to Wells. Direct deposit funds went out, and also mail checks. Let me give you the details. Those funds went out Friday morning, and then the banks that I told you would release the funds immediately did. Friday and again on Saturday. If you hear your bank in the list of banks, you want to ensure that and have not got to the direct deposit yet, you want to ensure that it's there today. If it's not there today, you are likely a mail recipient. The banks that released those funds on Friday are the following. First, they are Green Dot, H&R Block, Green Emerald Card, TurboTax, also Chime Cash App, Bank Corp, NetSpend, and MetaBank were among the ones that released it. Other ones that joined the mix were Brinks and California Bank and Trust. Released funds on Friday. Some of them released funds on Saturday. Now, then came the exciting great news. On Saturday, the IRS tool updated itself for millions and millions of viewers across the board. And that's what I told you that tool would do. And it updated itself with the announcement that pending deposits are coming this April 7th. April 7th is, yes, wave 4. April 7th is wave 4. And what's important for you to know is that if you are with the following banks, the funds will be available April 7th if you have that pending deposit. Direct Express by Comerica, Bank America, Chase, Wells Fargo, Citicorp, all the big banks released the funds on April 7th. They release them throughout the day. And some will give you an alert ahead of time. Some will not give you an alert ahead of time. When do they get the funds? They got the funds on Friday. And the effective date of the funds is next Wednesday. The IRS tool updated itself on Saturday. And then away we go. The deposits are available on Friday. We also learned on Saturday that this current wave, again, has some mail checks. And those mail checks have an effective date of April 9th. So you would see those mail checks April 9th. So away we go. Direct deposits are landing on Wednesday. Now, if you've gone to that tool and have no results in the tool, don't worry. 50% of viewers, the tool never works, and yet the deposit occurs. Also, if you go to the tool and you get no results, one of the viewers, Margie, has a fix. It has worked for about 80 to 90% of the viewers, not all of them. And the fix or the hack is the following. Type your address in all capitals. Type your address in all capitals. Other viewers say that if you change variations of things like street to ST, it could make the big difference as well. And away we go. Those mail checks for March 26th are still landing mailboxes today. More landed on Saturday. The Wave 3 mail checks of April 2nd to 5th are landing as well. Those appear to be on time, whereas the March 26th checks are late. And then the April 9th checks will be landing later this week. What's also important to note, as I said in the opening remarks, is that VA recipients do not have to wait to April 14th. They sent me wonderful messages over the weekend that as VA recipients, they have pending deposits for April 7th. I've had VA recipients get stimulus since the first round. And away we go. This is the big news that checks are landing. And the President of the United States got these $1,400 third stimulus checks out during another push. If you tuned into this weekend, the president specifically in his message actually mentions that on April 7th, there will be a wave of checks landing. He actually mentions the April 7th date and says that this is when millions of more checks are landing. Really exciting, great news. But we're far from over for stimulus because guess what? There's a lot of other stimulus at play. The third stimulus has a lot of other items, and now we focus on getting those other items. Why? Because it's first come, first serve. Those other items of stimulus will be covered in the video coming up after this. In the video coming up after this, I'm going to go over why it's so important to understand that there's $5,000 to $10,000 available for you under third stimulus. That is first come, first serve, that you qualify for if you make less than $45,000. If you're on SSI or SSDI, Social Security or railroad benefits, if you're a senior, if you're employed, not employed, if you're a taxpayer, not a taxpayer, there's a lot of money in the third stimulus. And in the video after this, I'm going to go over it with you and jump into the live chat with you. Why is this very important? A lot of these items are going to get their final run under third stimulus. Indications now suggest that there won't be a certain run in fourth stimulus for items like rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, property owner assistance, business grants, everything up to business grants you qualify for. You qualify for the rent, utilities, food. Those things will not get another run or another add-on under fourth stimulus. They will be in third stimulus, and they're about to go live in the next few days. So I want you to get it. I want you to be first in and first out the door with the money. This is what you need to know. You can't go on a stimulus holiday You can't go on a stimulus holiday, say, thank you, I got my $14 stimulus check, and then chuck back in 2 months from now when you need a little bit more money. Why? Because the money that's available for you under third stimulus is about to go live now. And you got to grab it right now, because if you check back in a few weeks, it's going to be gone and it may not replenish itself. Also, what's really important is that this other money on the third stimulus is available in the next few days, and it'll carry you and to make you financially stable up to about June or July, because that's when fourth stimulus will literally hit your pocketbook. I'll have more about that in a second. But there was a lot of things that happened across the board last week, and those impact your stimulus and your pocketbook more. I'll be going over those in a second. And then the video after this at 9:30 Pacific Standard Time, which is 12:30 Eastern Standard Time, I will be going over how to ensure you do get that stimulus check this week. I'll be answering your questions live in the chat. And I'll be going over that counter proposal that came in over the weekend from the president. Meantime, Wall Street, what is its reaction? This was the one we wanted to really watch. Over the weekend, we didn't know what Wall Street was going to say with the blowout jobs numbers. Was Wall Street going to surge or crash? One of our Wall Street videos, which was on midday, was absolutely one of our most watched videos of the weekend, because it's a big issue. Is the market going to surge or crash on great job numbers? On Friday, the job numbers were released when Wall Street was closed. 916,000 jobs created in the month of March. This was a blowout number. No one had expected it. We had 300,000 jobs the month before, and suddenly we came in at nearly a million. In fact, they reassessed the prior month's numbers up to 500,000. This is what you need to know. There is currently 8 million jobs missing in the country right now. And if there's 900,000 jobs created a month, a million jobs a month, that means we could have all jobs restored within 8 months. But the reports were absolutely shocking. What did the reports on Friday said? Guess what? Analysts were saying if the job growth continues this month, April, you could see 2 million jobs created in the month of April, which would mean in 4 months, 8 million jobs would be restored. 2 into 8, 4. So what's really at issue is how much job growth is there? How many jobs are being created? The numbers last month came in at 250,000 jobs created for leisure and hospitality. It's still reopening. That could still go higher. Construction followed with 110. The numbers for the analysts over the weekend suggested that we're far from seeing the end of this run. Friday, Charlie Ripley said the payroll numbers suggest that the labor market has begun to turn around, but we still have a long way before substantive growth is made. So the big question is, what did Wall Street say today? And boy, it answered well. These are the numbers coming in right now. Currently, tech is surging Monday morning. These are numbers right happening this morning. Facebook is up 3.3% on the news of those great jobs numbers. Facebook is at over $300, one of its highest levels in many months. Alphabet is going up as well, 3.2% up. Around $2,000 currently trading on Monday morning. Microsoft is seeing its highest level in recent memory, up 2.6% to $248. Meantime, the 10-year Treasury remains calm, which is great for you because you never want to hear that 10-year Treasury is going through the roof. If it was to go through the roof, then the concern would be inflation, stagflation, and similar results. Currently, the Dow is up 400 points to 1.2%. The NASDAQ is up 190 points to 1.4%. Relatively still calm. But earlier in the day, it had traded much higher. The big stocks making big moves currently in the midday are Tesla, AMC, Charles Schwab, and several others. Tesla came on that news about those deliveries on Friday. 168,000 cars delivered. Tesla's trading up 5% currently at the moment, which AMC is going through the roof. AMC is up 39% since Thursday. Meantime, Carnival, Norwegian, Royal Caribbean up 4 to 6%. Charles Schwab is currently up about 3%, and GameStop is about 3% up. Really strong numbers across the board. So then we get to the big question of those reoccurring stimulus checks. In about 15 minutes from now, I'll be going over the counterproposal that came in for the Republicans and the response from the administration. What was their response? But here is what you need to know, is that there is a push for reoccurring stimulus checks, and I'm going to explain it to you right now. That push for reoccurring stimulus checks is not coming from the White House, but rather from Democrats in the Senate. This is how they are envisioning the idea. The bill currently needs to go by reconciliation if it is done in a non-bipartisan way. And if it goes by reconciliation, then the bill lands in the Senate. When the bill lands in the Senate, then we have the vote-a-rama. Did you get that album, the Vote-a-Rama, in the 1980s? You know, it had bell-bottom pants, and, you know, the B-52s did the cover album, cover art, cover song for it. You know, the Vote-a-Rama, it went to the disco charts everywhere. So the Vote-a-Rama is, again, coming up if they do this by reconciliation. And what does the Vote-a-Rama do? It amends the bill. Whatever the president gives us, it's amended. And what's going to be amended and how is it going to be amended? And what are those Democrats going to do? And how will this formulate itself? I have all those details and more and additional surprises about your stimulus checks, those reoccurring stimulus checks that could pay you upwards of $12,000 to $16,000. That's coming up in about 60 seconds. Stay with me right after this commercial break. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Mornings LALATE. How are you? During the commercial break, AJ said he had in the comments, he said he has a mail check date of March 26th for his third stimulus check, and he said it showed up in the mail today. So congratulations to AJ, and he told others to stay positive. Absolutely. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Let's do it. It's birthday month on this channel. We're trying to reach 400,000 subscribers, so let's do it. Give this channel a subscribe. It's free to subscribe. It's costly to miss stimulus, and guess what? There's a lot of money going live on third stimulus, and I'm going to be dedicated to giving you every penny in that third stimulus package. And away we go. And if you've not liked this video, give it 3,000 likes across the board. The big news is that when the fourth stimulus package lands in the Senate, 21 of 50 Democrats are going to amend it. They're going to amend it during an event called the Vote-a-Rama. And they're going to put monthly stimulus checks in there. How do we know this? They've written the letter. How many letters have they written? 3. Those letters detail the following mathematics of those stimulus checks. Let's look at them. They're arguing for monthly stimulus checks at the end of this year. They don't give us the amount, but they do say the income qualification is the same. So if you got a stimulus check for the third stimulus check, you would get another one under the fourth. The income qualifications would stay at $75,000 a married individual, $150,000 married couple, and it would also stay the same going forward, meaning the child, the adult dependents, would get the same amount for a stimulus check. How many months? Well, if they got this bill done in June, you'd see July to December. And away we go. $2,000 a month for 6 months would be $12,000. $1,400 a month for 6 months is $8,400. What's important to understand is that this dwarfs SSI and SSDI $2,400. It's 6 times the amount. It dwarfs FPUC retro, and it dwarfs hazard pay. And these Democrats want it done. If it sounds like a lot of money, let me explain to you what the counter situation is. This. The president has told his staff that he wants to do children's checks every month for 18 years, not for just this pandemic. If you've been watching this channel for a few months, you know that on the third stimulus package, children will be getting $300 a month starting the month of July for 1 year if they are 5 to newborn, or $3,000 over 12 months. The president wants to extend that for 18 years. Yes, from birth to age 18, $300 a month. That's $65,000 for one individual. Well, $65,000 for one individual is cheaper than $12,000. And with that, all that push is underway to get those monthly stimulus checks out. Here's what you need to know, is that while the president is going to debut his fourth stimulus package this week, it will not have those items in there. What will be in the fourth stimulus package? Infrastructure, climate, water, electricity, internet, infrastructure, and similar. It won't have in there any mention of stimulus checks. But what's important to understand is there's two paths to getting this done. And let me explain those paths and why one path is the one you want. If it goes by reconciliation, not involving any Republicans, then it would land in the Senate, where people like Ron Wyden, who you're looking at here, will make that amendment to do those monthly stimulus checks. And with 21 of 50 Democrats who lead the Senate now saying they're going to do it, last week, the week before, and the week before that, this is something that could absolutely get out the door. That is path number one. But path number two is the one that the president was talking about on Friday, speaking to the Republicans and trying to do a bipartisan modification of his fourth stimulus package, which is not yet bill yet, and getting them to agree to it. You don't particularly want that path to happen. Why? Because if Republicans are brought on, they're not going to give you $12,000 of stimulus checks. They'll barely give you $600 of stimulus checks. So you want the bill to go by reconciliation. You want it to go by reconciliation because that is what gets you to the finish line and gets those monthly stimulus checks. And then there's the obvious situation. The faster you get that bill to the Senate, the faster you get a stimulus check out the door. If you get that bill to the Senate and get a check out by July, that's great. But if you wait to August, not so great. Every month a check passes, you don't get one. And then there's this. This is probably the biggest issue at hand. The biggest issue at hand is the rebounding of the economy. With the rebounding of the economy, the issue at hand is very obvious. When are those 8 million jobs that are missing going to be restored? If they're restored before the reoccurring stimulus checks are signed into law, Democrats may get cold feet and not give it to you. So you want this bill before them now when those jobs are missing. You don't want this bill before them in the Senate after those jobs are restored. So when would the jobs be restored? When we were looking at the data on Thursday, before the jobs report on Friday, this is where we were. Janet Yellen, your Treasury Secretary, Jerome Powell, your head of the Federal Reserve, the President of the United States, all said we won't have those jobs restored until next year, about 16 months. Good. We don't have to worry about losing the push for reoccurring stimulus checks. But then the jobs numbers came out, and those jobs numbers showed 1 million jobs in the month of March. Now we're at 8 months, we could get those jobs restored. But if those analysts on Wall Street are correct, 2 million jobs restored per month means 4 months, which means April, May, June, July. The 8 million jobs could be restored by the month of July. And if that's the case, you don't want to wait for this bill to land in the Senate after July. You want it in there as fast as possible and out the door. Remember, it takes about 2 months for a bill to get passed by reconciliation. Now is April. You want it in there by May, June. You don't want that bill in the Senate by July because that could be a big issue. Other things that have happened over the weekend, which and late last week, which is important to understand, is the eviction moratorium was extended. The eviction moratorium was extended into the CDC, so away we go. You are protected for a few more months. This is likely the last round of the eviction moratorium to get extended. Also, the PPP program was extended as well. The president signed an executive order extending the PPP program. And then student loan debt. The president agreed on Friday that he would dispatch and has dispatched his education secretary to prepare a memo to determine the legal validity of forgiving your student loan debt of $50,000. Elizabeth Warren's message is loud and clear. The president has the legal authority. She said that Obama did it and Trump did it. And so hence, Biden can forgive student loan debt as well. If that's true, within 2 weeks from now, you could see $50,000 of student loan debt forgiven by executive order, not by bill. And this is one of several items that this channel is tracking that is happening before forced stimulus. You see that executive orders and these standalone bills are still happening in the next few weeks before we get to forced stimulus. Of course, along the way, we will hear other bills, like this one introduced just a few days ago, that provides reoccurring stimulus checks in a way which likely will never happen, but at least it keeps the message loud and clear. Tlaib and Jalapal proposed monthly stimulus checks, but the problem with the bill is that it continues for over a year after COVID is done. So it would provide $2,000 a monthly payments and $1,000 a month all the way to a year after the crisis is over. Now, when you look at that horizon, that's never going to happen. But on the other hand, here's what's also very interesting, is that you rather get $2,000 now, not $1,000 now. Because when you look at the numbers, $2,000 on the come over 6 months is $12,000. $1,000 a month for 6 months is only $6,000. And with that, coming up on Mornings LALATE, I'll be going over the Republican counterproposal. I'll be going over the White House's response to the counterproposal. I'll also be going over those missing stimulus checks that some people may be concerned about. Spoiler alert, they're not missing. I'll be going over the other money that's available in the third stimulus package. But here's what you need to know about other items happening right this morning before the markets go to an early part of the midday. Here is what's happening this morning. The White House and Janet Yellen spoke minutes ago about considering pushing foreign governments for a universal corporate tax rate. How does this work? Well, under the fourth stimulus package, the proposal is to raise the corporate tax rate. The corporate tax rate was 35% before Donald Trump came in. He slashed it to 21%. The White House's fourth stimulus package proposes to put it to 28%. The question, of course, is this thing called searching for the bottom or racing to the bottom. What does racing to the bottom means? It means that companies, no matter what country they are in, will relocate their operations to the country that has the lowest corporate tax rate. And what the concern right now is if you raise the corporate tax rate from 21 to 28%, companies will just relocate their operations to that country that has a lower corporate rate. So now corporate offshore rates are 10.5%, and the concern is that jobs will be lost and corporations will relocate to other countries that have 10.5 corporate rates. Well, Janet Yellen said in a new report released this morning that competitiveness is more about how U.S. headquartered companies fare against companies in the global merger and acquisitions bid. It's about making sure that the government has a stable tax system that raises sufficient revenue to invest in essential public goods and respond to crises, and that all citizens fairly share the burden of financial governments. So can Janet Yellen convince other countries around the world to raise their corporate tax rate? I don't think so. I don't think so. If a country is drawing in other corporations because their tax rate is lower, do you think they're going to raise their corporate tax rate to be competitive, be at the same level as a higher 28% in the United States? I don't think that's going to happen. But as we go into Mornings LALATE and the continuation of our program, I will be going over what to expect tomorrow and Wednesday for those $1,400 third stimulus checks. I'll also have that counter proposal for the Democrats. So if you've not, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I don't want you to miss a single recording across the board. It's a big day. There's a lot of money, and third stimulus money is available for you. I make it very emphatically clear. Get this third stimulus money now. Don't go into the horizon and come back in a few months because it's going to be gone. It's first come, first serve. It's a lot of great money for you, and you don't want to wait a minute. So subscribe and stay on top of where and when you can get this money, and together I show you how to get it. And it comes up right after this video. Also, like this video. And if you're not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, and I'll see you in just 3 minutes from now as Mornings LA continues.